Hi everybody, it's Claire back with an art journal video and an exciting one. So I've been sent some of the new Dina Wakley release again and just starting to have a bit of play with some of the things that I've received. So I've received the new set of brushes. They are amazing to work with. They're so soft. They're just quite dreamy really. Lovely round brushes. You can see I'm just using one of them to add some paint to my page. So the lovely soft bristles is very different to the flat brushes. They've got a very different feel. So yeah, started off with the size 24 brush there, and then this is the cover stencil, and I'm just using a baby wipe and really gently removing some of the paint through the stencil. So I didn't put any clear gesso on my page to start off with, so I am being very careful not to lift the surface of the page away with my baby wipe. So I am just going in really gently here just to lift some of this mineral colour paint away. So then that was dried and I mixed a tiny bit of black with the mineral that was left on my glass mat. And again, I'm just going back in with the same stencil, using the same sponge on my blending tool and just overlapping the stenciling and adding a darker shade of grey on my page. Okay, and then I decided I wanted a bit of contrast, so I'm going in again with the same stencil and a bit of white. So here you can see that just using the same stencil, you can create quite a detailed background with that kind of repeating pattern idea going on. And it's quite a nice way to create a background start to your page. So this is a transparency from the Frames and Figures set one, and it's got these fantastic giant circles on it. So I decided I was going to use the 3 smaller circles. So I'm just going to cut those out. So I do have some acetate of my own that I got off Amazon, and the one I have is really quite thin. It's also heat resistant. These ones from Dina are not so heat resistant, so you do need to be a little bit careful if you're going to try drying any media that you put on the acetate. Yeah, it will kind of buckle a little bit if it gets too warm, so just be a little bit careful with that. So I've just cut those 3 circles out, and I was just looking at them and thinking, what am I going to do with these? And I thought, I know, I'm going to paint in the centre of them. So I've gone in with some white paint, and you can see how cool that looks through there. So creating more of an opaque add-on for my page really, I guess. So once I'd done that, while it was dry, I was just looking at it on my page, and I decided I was going to use the end of a paintbrush and draw into the paint. So I just drew some more circles into the wet paint using the opposite end of the paintbrush. Here we go. It created some quite fun textures really, which you can see now the page is dry, you can see those really well. So that was quite a fun thing to do. So then I wanted to have a focal point, a focal image for my page. So I'm using a face from Collage Paper Faces set from Dina Wakley. First of all, I'm going to add some black splatters just to break up some of that background colour. And just using my teeny tiny fan brush. So this is the face that I decided to use, and I've just cut it in half just so that it didn't take up all of my page. I'm just going to stick it over on that right hand side of my page using some matte medium to fix that in place. And you'll see how brilliantly the collage paper kind of disappears, leaving that lovely black image behind. Then I stapled these circles in place. I do like how the transparencies catch the light on the page. I do think they look really cool. It does give another dimension to journal pages. It's lots of fun. And then I'm just cutting off the overhanging bits here. And then I'm going in and doing some of my signature dots using a large Posca pen. And then for my quote, I'm using one of Dina's ledger paper quotes, which just work perfectly with my page. I've said this so many times, there is a quote on those pages for every occasion. It's never difficult to find the right quote. There's always something perfect there. So certainly if you don't have those quotes in your arty stash, it's worth trying to get hold of them. And I'm using my clear glue and little tiny tweezers just to help get those stuck in place without covering my hands in glue. And then to just work with a little bit of contrast on my page, I'm just going in with a Signo Uniball in white and just adding some more little dots and tiny teeny circles onto those areas where I've already started adding some marks onto my page. So this was lots of fun to create with, adding those transparency elements onto my page. Yeah, interesting elements to add in really. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video where I've created using some of Dina's new release, the new stencil, the cover stencil and the transparencies. Lots more videos to come. So keep an eye on my channel. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you again soon.